Hello everyone, this is the second video I'm making about the basics of ArcGIS. So in the first video we talked a little bit about ArcCatalog and what it means. In this video I'll talk a little bit about creating feature classes and shapefiles and what they look like. So as I mentioned in the first video, uh, ArcCatalog is the Windows Explorer of ArcGIS. So it allows you to create, manipulate, do a whole bunch of other operations. You can even use these toolboxes that you see here to do various geoprocessing and whatnot. But for this, we'll just start off with how to create a feature class. Now, a feature class is uh, a GIS data set that resides in a geodatabase of any kind. So it could be a file geodatabase, a personal geodatabase, or an SDE enterprise geodatabase. So here in the last tutorial we made this test GeoDB GDB file. So our catalog, obviously you can see that they can see it. So let's go ahead and create a feature class. So you just right click it and go to new and go to feature class. Now this brings up a dialog that allows you to go about your creation, feature class creation. So we'll just call this test Polygon. You can give it alias, you don't have to. Let's give it the same alias. You know what, we'll call it alias so we know. So this is a polygon, you can obviously choose whatever you want. Go ahead and click next. So this is where you pick the coordinate system. So for most, if you're doing little areas, cities, provinces, states, that kind of thing, you want to go ahead and find what projection system matches that area. So I live in Toronto, so the most suited uh, uh, projection system for where I live is NAD 1983 UTM Zone 17 North. So this is what I choose. I'm just going to go next. Set this tolerance to the default. And you can set this to default. And this is where you define your field. So we can call this field 1. You can just go ahead and start typing. We'll give this a double. Field 2. And obviously, you're going to make these intuitive to the feature class you're creating. I'm just doing this for test, so I can just name it whatever because they don't really have any meaning. But for when you go ahead with the project or some kind of assignment or something like that, make sure you give it meaningful names. So we'll give this a long integer. And we'll just set to finish. Now there you go. There you have your test polygon. Obviously there's nothing in it, so if you go to preview, you're not going to get anything. But before we go and add polygons in there, we'll first look at creating a shapefile as well. So a shapefile is essentially a small database that's kind of contained within itself. So if you go to your directory and go to new, you can create a shapefile right out of ArcCatalog. It's fairly simple, but you have to click on a directory. You can't create a shapefile inside a file geodatabase or any kind of geodatabase. A shapefile is a database in itself because that's how it writes. So let's go to create a shapefile. Now we can give it the same name as before. Let's call this test polygon. And change this to polygon, and it says unknown. You can leave it as is, or you can change it, but we're going to give it NAD 1983 Zone 17. If you don't want to look it up, you can just type it here. Actually, see what it comes up with. Oh, nothing. Let's see what now. There you go. It comes up with a bunch of stuff. So it's easier to narrow down. So we want 717. If it's something you're going to use often, so if you're working in a particular area, you might want to add it to your favorites. I do that often, so I'm just going to add it to my favorites. It's a projection system I'm going to use quite often for a lot of feature classes, so might as well have it handy right where I want it. There you go. Click OK, and there you have your test polygon. Now, what's happening here is let's look at this. Let's look at this polygon in the file Windows Explorer. A quick and easy way to do this is to go to the directory. Is click up here and copy this path. Click on your start button and just paste it and press enter, and then you can go right to that path real quick. So you'll see this test polygon. So Shapefile consists of all these 5 files. So if you change the name of one of these things, the shapefile is all of a sudden it'll be corrupt. It won't be recognized. So in ArcCatalog, what happens is it recognizes all 4 of these or all 5 of these files as one entity. Now I'll show you something. How it happens. So say I want to change the name of this shapefile. So I'll go name, change. Look what happens on the right side of my screen. I'll change it. There you go. It all changed all together. So ArcGIS and ArcCatalog especially is quite good at doing all those things. So you don't want to do anything in Windows Explorer, because ArcCatalog is your Windows Explorer for GIS items, and it's very important that people understand that. So quick and dirty, let's open up ArcMap. There we go. Now we created this test polygon and we want to throw it in here. There's a couple of ways to go about that. You can either go here and you can pick your test show database from here, or you can just simply drag and drop it. So if you just drag this, bring it to your untitled ArcMap document, bring it here, and now it's defined. It's added into the table of contents. So now you can go about editing this. So you can add your editor toolbar if you haven't already. Let's see, where's that? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Editing toolbar. You can go here and go to edit feature, start editing, or you can just go here. Start editing. It's the same thing. And now you can start drawing polygons. So we don't have any real context for this. So let's see where we are. Let's go. Why don't we add the base map? So, oh yeah, that was it. So we add data. There it is. Add base map. Let's look at the streets. This is a very standard base map that a lot of corporations and Esri suggest that you use. It's pretty great. Now it's like this because our data frame is defined to North America based on the projection system we picked. So when we dump this test polygon in here, what happens is the data frame gets defined by the first item you put into the ArcMap document. So if it was defined as zone, 1983 zone 17 north, then that's the that's the projection system of the data frame. And you can see that if you go to right click on layers, like I did, and go to properties, if you go to coordinate system, you can see that it's picked. Obviously, you can change it later if you want, but right now, because we're in an editing session, we can't change it. You can close the editing session, and these all will be not grayed out anymore. So anyway, we're around this area. Let's say, let's zoom in. Say Toronto. Now, let's draw a polygon. So how do we draw a polygon? So you have your create features on the side here because you went to start editing. Editor start editing. And now you want to use, you want to draw this polygon. This is the only feature we have. You can draw a bunch of stuff if you want. You can draw a circle, polygon. But say you want to draw a polygon from this block for this block here. Let's do that. There you go. There's your polygon. And if you want to look at the attributes, there it is. Now you can give these fields whatever values you want. If you want to calculate some kind of metric for them, like a geometry, then you can do that as well. Like the perimeter and all that stuff. Yeah, perimeter sounds pretty cool. It's kind of like that. So there's your perimeter in meters, because it's all in meters. If you want to add your, I think this is a text field, you can tell. Yeah, string field. So for this one, that's a double field. We'll calculate, let's see, what the length. Length times $100. We'll do 1,000. So we'll get it in. Oh, you know what? Let's divide that. Let's divide it so we can get what it is in kilometers. There you go. That's the pretty much the perimeter. The length and the perimeter of a polygon is pretty much the same. So you can get that in kilometers now. So there you have it. That's how you edit. And if you just want to save this, go to save. Now it's done. Now, if you saw when we created that polygon, it was already, the length and the area are already calculated, and that's a function of a feature class in a file database. So let's see. Let's add some fields to this. Now this is our shapefile. Now when I add something in here, you see nothing's really calculated. If I want to calculate something, I gotta kind of do it myself. And you can do that at the geometry. You can calculate the area using these functions in the field calculator. That's kind of built in. But other than that, it doesn't really do it for you. But one of the advantages, one of the many advantages of feature class in a file geodatabase or any kind of geodatabase is these kinds of things, where those things are done for you. And if you're someone in GIS, generally the length, area, those kinds of information are important to you in the context of mapping. So that's a good thing to have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. All right, peace.